Okay, we're gonna do a walk and talk on Avenida de Praia, and I think the walk and talk today's focus is going to be Macau people are pretty cool. I really like Macau people. I'll just kind of tell you why as we do a little walk and talk tonight, and kind of show you these museum houses, Avenida de Praia, and kind of talk about that topic. So, okay, stay tuned.
Chiquinha, chiquinha.
Go check out the room.
Chiquinha,
Okay, I'm the content creator for this channel. If you like what I'm doing, just subscribe and hit the like button. Okay, so why do I like Macau people? Macau people are, I have to give you a little bit of background about myself before I can even get into it fully. But I lived in Korea for off and on for 12 years. Lived in Japan for 5 years. I lived in lots of different other countries, Brazil, a couple of European countries. I'm from the United States. But I want to mostly compare Japan and Korea. Japanese people are really polite. Korean people are quite friendly, and but Macau has a nice people because they're how do I say it? They're used to foreigners. I guess I can say it like that. After living in Japan and Korea for a while. Actually, Japan was fine, but in Korea, foreigners would always create a big attraction when I was living there, which was 1996 to 2008. There's a beautiful Cotai strip. So, but here, the Portuguese have been here for 600 years, and they're used to foreigners. So there's a nice fusion between the people that live here, and I think because of that Macau Portuguese background, all of the Macanese and Chinese, you know, basically the Chinese that have been here for a long time, and there's a large number of them that have been for generations and generations, they've also been mixing in with Portuguese as well, and so a lot of people in the city will have some Portuguese blood mixed into them. So and they're also really cool. I really like whenever I meet Macanese people, their lives are so interesting, and just their connection with the city and what they have to say about Macau is interesting. So yeah, we're walking down Avenida de Praia. There's casinos, Galaxy Casino, Venetian Casino, Londoner, City of Dreams, Morpheus, Grand Thai. So yeah, basically, I think because of the background of Macau people, they're just really used to foreigners, so they code switch really easily. And you have to take in mind, there's a nice little bird kind of going through there. That dog is up on the bench. Okay. A big dog getting groomed there. We have to take in mind, you know, there's 4 languages here: Cantonese, Mandarin, Portuguese, and English. So, you know, people code switch pretty quickly when they see me in English. So and the official languages are Portuguese and Cantonese, and I kind of feel like Cantonese. Oh, there's a new sculpture here. Cantonese is kind of a marginalized language, I guess I could say. You know, meaning there's a big pressure on this part of China to change their language to the Mandarin speaking language. So there's a lot of influences for that, and I don't want to get into the politics of that, but because of that, there's you know, that looks really cool. I haven't really seen this sculpture before. This is brand new. Let's see what this is. Can't really see it. It's called Cidade Globe, Global City. Leandro Elrich. I haven't really seen this before. Let's kind of see. So it looks like we got one giant. It's hard to see at nighttime. Let's see if we can get a good angle with the lighting, which will probably be over here. Actually, that's kind of fits in really well with what I was talking about, doesn't it? Global city. That looks really cool. Let's just kind of step back a little bit and take a look at that. Wow. Let's try to get it from this angle as well. That looks really cool. Global city. Fits in really well with this topic. But yeah, let's just kind of convert this into this beautiful statue with all these. Man, this is so funny. It looks so Macau because, you know, Macau has so much density to it, and it's all these city streets. The sculpture is amazing. And then I was just talking about global city, and then I'm talking about Macau. But yeah, because of all these international influences here, you have the Portuguese speaking world, you have the English speaking world. So yeah, this is Avenida de Praia. you have the Chinese-speaking world, and you have two Chinese-speaking worlds. You have the Cantonese and Mandarin. So I feel like people here, they have to navigate both worlds, and then also the English-speaking world as well, which they code switch quite quickly. And very few Portuguese is interesting because let me see, we could either walk up that way and down, or we could, maybe we'll do that. We'll walk up and down and keep on our topic. That looks pretty cool. That's a nice little sculpture. So let's go up this way. We can overlook Avenida Praia. I think we have another one up here called do Restauração, which is like restoration. We'll be up there in a minute. So because of Macau's requirement to navigate all these different worlds. Oh, I wanted to talk about the Portuguese. It's interesting. I've met very few people who are Portuguese who can speak Cantonese, and very few of any Chinese person that can speak Portuguese. But there are some exceptions, because in this city they are studying Portuguese if they want to be working in the government or law, anything with law. This is a beautiful church right here. So Taipa, it's this kind of walk. That church looks beautiful at night. So yeah, there's a lot to see in Macau. So I think because of that, but anyways, I'll also get to the more personal. This is a beautiful street at nighttime too. This is Largo de Carmo. It's Avenida de Carlos de Maya. There's a nice church right there. So we're just gonna kind of go on the peripheral side, and this is we'll show you this street as well, and then we're gonna go back because our main focus was that other one anyways. Looks real nice at nighttime, doesn't it? Then we have this little these pillars, giant pillars here, and then we have our church still right there as well. Sometimes cars can come through here too, so there's a car coming through. Oh, that's beautiful with that big bell up there too. It's nice. Okay, so yeah, so in general, I feel like the people here are quite international, and you can feel it the moment you cross into Zhuhai. The difference is very stark, just phenomenally stark. You can just feel the differences, and you can also see where a lot of Macau people emigrated here. So I'm not saying anything bad against Maryland people, because there's a strong connection. Got another car coming. It's gonna walk in this park, and then we're gonna kind of overlook that, and then we'll jump down in a moment when the car goes by. I don't want to overlook that, but basically, like when you meet people who haven't really spent any time in Macau, you know, they're not familiar with foreigners at all. And that's what I was going to tie it into when I was in Korea, 1996. They weren't really used to foreigners, so when I go to Zhuhai, I feel the same. I go to Zhuhai and I feel like people have never really seen a foreigner, so they'll stop and look at me and ask questions, which is fine. I don't really have a problem with that. But I do really like that, you know, Macau people, they just kind of code switch and they don't really even think about it really, and they'll not really, the language barrier isn't really there, and also people are really comfortable with foreigners. So when I was in Korea, sometimes I try to say something in Korean, and a lot of times they would tell me back like I don't speak English, but you know, I was speaking in Korean. I don't know Korean well, but you know, I'd say all my basics in Korean, stuff like that. But here that doesn't really happen. If it does, it's okay too. It's not really about a language barrier. It's not really a language issue anyways. It's just, you know, how are the people. And I just find, you know, Macau people, they just kind of live and let live. So there's a nice comfortableness to it, to living in this city and being among the people here. That makes it very comfortable. And I think in general, I find Chinese people in general to be pretty comfortable. You know, work-wise, you know, professionally, in every kind of capacity. It's a comfortable city with good people. So yeah, so I don't know, maybe some expat or somebody is interested in Macau and kind of curious. There's always exceptions with everything, so I'm not going to make a blanket statement and say, but I will say that I like Macau people. I think they're I think it's a pretty cool little city, and kind of people here are so interesting. This area right here, there's a Lusofonia festival which has all these Portuguese people from all over the world. you know, from Africa, from Brazil, from Goa, from Macau, Malcanese people from Macau, stuff like that. So so that kind of stuff exists here as well. So it's all here. And I think people in the mainland China, when I talk to some of them, they kind of say like how interesting it is here that they can use Chinese, but that's so different here. And that's one of the things I really like about it. It's just so different and unique. Okay, so we'll conclude this one here about why I like Macau people. Wish I could give you some specific examples of something happening while I have the camera on, but actually I like the fact that people just kind of let me film and let me do whatever I'm doing without it's also a trait that I like as well, for me personally. Okay, let's end it right there. There's a Cotai strip.
Chiquinha, chiquinha, toma cuidado da bovidinha.